everybody, my name is Kayla and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 reads for 2020. So 2020 as a year was definitely not ideal for literally anybody, but a good thing that came out of it was that I had plenty of time to read, and read I did. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So coming in at number 1, we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, and this book follows Addie LaRue in a small village in France in 1714, I believe, where she makes a deal with a god of the night because she doesn't want to get married. She wants to live and explore, and she wants freedom from the confines of her little village. So this Dark Lord, who she eventually names Luke, is like, yeah, sure, I'll make a deal. However, she soon realizes that it is a big mistake because now everybody she comes into contact to forgets her. She cannot leave a mark and essentially has to go through history in life as a living ghost, where literally nobody remembers her name or who she is after she meets them. And so she goes through a couple hundred years of this cat and mouse back and forth game with this dark god, and eventually stumbles into Henry, a boy who remembers. This novel shook me to my core. I only rated it 4.5 because I didn't enjoy her romance with Henry and I liked her romance with the Dark Lord better. But that's just more my reading taste. But as a whole, this book was one of the finest things I have read, just in terms of quality, the plot, and just the tragic beauty that is this novel. It's so poetic, and as a history nerd, I was obsessed with this book. I am obsessed with this book because there's so many little tidbits you get of history of the French Revolution, of all these different things that I was living for, honestly. And so this book was just like everything I wanted and more. And I found myself relating to Addie on literally like a whole nother level. So I saw myself in Addie, which shook me to my core. And this book just like captured my attention, and I literally cannot stop thinking about it. So it is like number 1. Coming in at number 2, we have The Traitor Queen, which is the second book in the Bridge Kingdom, which, you know, I talk about that series all the time. This book, I adored The Bridge Kingdom when I read it, and then this book is one of the best sequels I have ever read, and so I definitely had to put it in number 2 for this year just because it blew me away. I have reread this book since I read it in, I believe it came out in October. I have reread this book so many times since it came out. I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with the storyline. Again, I see myself in Lara, the main character, and just the overall themes of ambition and survival and consequences. Like, it just like shook me to my core, okay? I feel like I can't really explain this one that well, but it just like holds a lot of sentimentality with me. Number 3 is a recent read, and that is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. This is the author of the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, and boy, did I love this book. So I'm a very witchy person, as you guys know, and this book has a lot with like Italian magic and just like stuff like that, and so I found myself being drawn in from like page 1, and the plot of this book is like chef's kiss. This is one of the best books plot-wise that I read this entire year. Like, everything connects, everything adds up. The end had me shook. I didn't see it coming. I knew there was like a plot twist and it ends on a cliffhanger, surprise, but it literally left me shook. This book follows Emilia and her small Italian village. Her twin sister Vittoria is found dead. She summons one of the princes from hell to help discover and seek vengeance on whatever killed her sister, and she gets entwined with the 7 princes of hell. And it's a dark story, it's gritty, but it is, again, tragically beautiful. I think you can kind of see a trend in books that I like. But this is one of those enemies to lovers to enemies that is written so well that I was actually satisfied, because I'm rarely satisfied with enemies to lovers because they're just not gritty enough. But this one was. This one, it's literally just chef's kiss. Coming in at number 4, we have Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, and this novel shook me to my core. Normally, I am not into political-esque books where politics and just things like that are a major plot point, but this book somehow did it in a way that I enjoyed it. So it's a new adult, more steamy, so definitely like 16 plus, contemporary romance. And it follows first son Alex as he has this tumultuous enemies-esque relationship with the Crown Prince of Wales, Henry, and after a wedding accident goes wrong, both parties on either side are like, yo, you guys gotta be friends for diplomatic reasons so the world doesn't hate it and like think there's tension. I'm explaining this book horribly. It's about both of these sons of leaders kind of discovering themselves and realizing that they have more in common, and a secret romance blooms between them in the most unlikely places. So yeah, this book broke me and put me back together. So number 5 on my list is Dare You to Lie by Amber Lynn Nachus, and I read this book this summer and haven't been able to stop thinking about it since. So if you watch my videos in like August, probably till September, I mention this book like all the time. I freaking love it. So when Kylene's FBI agent father is framed for a murder she believes he didn't commit, she has to move back to her hometown which she left a couple years earlier following a scandal she was involved with. So obviously this town does not love her and she must return to it and her high school where everybody pretty much hates her, and she is determined to find out what happened the night of her accident as well as clear her father's name. As she starts digging around in this secretive small town where sketchy stuff is going down, she starts receiving threats and has to enlist the help of a rookie FBI agent. I don't normally enjoy reading thrillers. I love watching thrillers, but reading, it's just like not my taste. I prefer new adult romance, high fantasy, stuff like that. But this book shook me to my core, earning its number 5 spot. I freaking love it. There's a second book that I have on my Kindle that I want to get in person for my bookshelf, but I adore this book. And it actually had like plot twists that I didn't see coming and couldn't predict, therefore this book blew me away. Alright everybody, so that was today's video. Comment down below any of your top reads or TV shows or movies from 2020. I'm interested to hear and read about what you guys loved this year. I have my link tree down in the description, which is where you'll find petitions, all my social media, literally everything. If you're not following me on TikTok, that is where I am the most active, so if you have TikTok, I would definitely recommend doing so. Yeah, so I hope you all are having a good holidays in the end of 2020, and I'm sending good vibes to all of you for 2021. So I think that's pretty much it. So be amazing people, have a fabulous day, and read lots of amazing books. Bye guys!